Check. 1, 2, check. Looks like good levels. Maybe a little hot. No, it's good. Morning.
Hey, man. What's going on?
Nothing. So what do you got? You got anything? I don't got anything, as usual. You can come prepared.
You never bring anything to the table, man. You bring skill. You bring technical skill. You bring editing skill and stuff.
And I bring spontaneity.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah. Spontaneity.
Spontaneity.
I'll let you guys bring the topics and I contribute with witty remarks.
Well, that's true, maybe sometime.
Eh?
I don't know. I don't have a lot of topics today.
Okay. No picks or anything?
I feel old today.
You feel old?
I might have a couple picks.
Should we talk about age?
We should talk about age today, I think.
All right. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, I guess. Yeah, we don't want to keep everybody too long today either.
All right, let's roll.
All right.
Warning. This podcast will be an injurious waste of your time. Warning. This podcast will be an injurious waste of your time.
Yeah, good morning. I'll take a medium with 2 sugar and a medium regular, please.
Morning, JB.
Morning, DDT.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
It's awfully quiet in here this morning.
It is a little quiet this morning.
I don't know what's going on there.
I don't know either.
Interesting.
Strange, eh?
Yeah.
Quiet morning.
So,
So how you doing today?
I'm good, man. It's a nice sunny day.
Yeah.
This spring has been...
It's a beautiful day out, eh?
It's been a little painful, actually, with the cold. Like the snowstorm earlier this week.
Oh.
End of April. I could have done with, probably.
Yeah, well, that's Canada. You see, we're lucky. You see the snow out west?
Well, that's true, actually.
Calgary and
Kenora,
other places up
Winnipeg,
north.
all those places, like 25 centimeters of snow. But that's not out of the ordinary.
I don't think it stayed here, though.
For those places. No, it actually melted at it as it was coming. But, I mean, I guess we've been kind of lucky the past few years where it's almost been like early spring and like nice 18-degree weather almost from the beginning and nice sunny days. And so,
So, you're welcome for the coffee.
Well, I didn't say thank you yet. Should I apologize for that, or that's your job, I guess?
No, I'll apologize.
All right, so thank you for the coffee.
I knew you were going to thank me.
And then I'll let you apologize.
I knew you were going to thank me. I was just getting out ahead of your thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And I should apologize to the good listener today that once again I have not come prepared. But as I was saying to you earlier, I bring the spontaneity.
And you also bring the equipment and the plugins, and you bring the editing and
the producing.
Realistically, I mean, we're just bumbling most of the time. So all the editing that you do in the background to make it possible is actually what sort of makes it entertaining for our 3 listeners.
That's right.
And your brother.
And my brother.
How's the dog, by the way? Is the dog getting longer walks?
I don't think so. I think his dog is still suffering from a half an hour walk. Man.
You got to walk longer. We got to make the podcast a little longer today. Last week was, I don't know, what did we end up at?
No, it was good. I think it's 40 is good.
That's not long enough.
I think it's long. I think it's more than enough.
At one point...
For this podcast?
Have we beat the hour yet?
I don't think we've ever beat the hour.
No.
We've become close.
That may be one of our sort of goals in life.
Well, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. The ones I do, they're like 3 hours long.
Yeah,
it's impossible to get in.
Not in a dog walk.
Not even a day.
No,
I don't have 3 hours to listen to a podcast.
Are we a dog walk podcast? Or are we dog walk? Are we a dog walk podcast, or are we? Are we, like a Toronto commute to work podcast?
We're not a Toronto commute to work podcast for sure. We're a dog wog podcast. We're a dog wog podcast for sure. I would say. I don't know.
So, speaking of family, with your brother, you were telling me that it's a big day. Is it today, the big day? Or when is the big day?
No, you're talking about my wife.
I am.
Yeah. No, it's Monday.
It's Monday. Okay.
Monday.
Today you're celebrating.
Today we are celebrating. Monday she turns the big 5-0.
The big 5-0.
5-0.
Wow.
For anybody that doesn't understand that, it's 50.
She's joining the club.
She is joining the club.
Actually,
yes.
Duff is not there yet either.
Oh, you're right. Duff is not there yet.
No, I think he's on his last hurrah this year, and I think.
Or is he only 48? Or is he 49 now?
I think he's 49.
49, yeah.
So, are you doing like a giant surprise thing? Have you planned something at home? And
not at home. So I had planned a meal out, and probably we are going to one of the more expensive places here in Canada. I don't know if I could say it.
I don't know. You're the one that
Should I say it?
You're the one that bleeps stuff out.
I'll say it.
Maybe they'll give you a discount if they're podcast listeners.
Dog walk.
Dog walk.
Dog walk.
Apparently, I don't have enough sleep in me.
Yeah,
today,
you don't have enough coffee. Keep drinking that.
I'll have another sip.
Yeah.
So no, that sounds like fun.
Perspectives at the Brook Street Hotel. There, I just promoted them twice.
Nice, very nice Ottawa, Canada hotel. For sure.
Yeah. So it's gonna be an expensive evening, definitely, for myself.
It'll be a nice night out for sure.
Yeah.
So, so she didn't want a big surprise, party at home.
She did not want a big surprise. Well, she didn't want a big party at home. Let's put it that way.
Is everybody?
Well, she didn't want a big party in general.
How is she with surprises?
Well, if you see her face last night, she was. So what I did, the backstory. What I did is that back in March, I contacted her best friend from Sudbury, and I said, "Hey, my wife, your best friend, turns 50 in May.
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing something this weekend. Would you consider coming down from Sudbury, their hometown?
It's reasonable.
Yeah. To join us. She'd love to have you there, but I want to make it a surprise.
Okay. So
don't tell." So she says, "Yeah, I think I can do that." So her and her oldest daughter made the trip down from Sudbury yesterday.
So the look on her face was a pleasant surprise, what have you done?
Well, it was interesting because they left at noon. Sudbury is about a 5.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
Okay. Ottawa to Sudbury.
4.5 hours if you're 18.
If you're 18, yeah. Are you saying that you made it in 4.5 hours?
I won't say that at all, but I'm just
so
saying.
You made it in 4.5 hours one time. Yeah. Yeah, you could make it in 5. The best I've done was 5.
Oh, there you go.
In the last couple of years. But anyway, we won't talk about that.
No, we won't talk about that.
What are you doing? 150 all the way?
I have nothing 90? To say on that comment.
Okay, you take the 5th.
There were no stops along the way.
Take the 5th. Yeah, well, that's part of the problem. When you're traveling, if you're by yourself, you could do it. With my wife, no. She has to stop to go to the bathroom all the time.
Okay.
I gotta go pee. Yeah. So we gotta stop in Deep River, Mattawa, sometimes North Bay. And that's what takes time. But anyway, back to the story. This is turning into a bit of a Duff story. But so anyway, she texts me at noon yesterday, says, "We're leaving now." Okay, great. So 5.5 hours, about 5:30. I don't hear from them for a while, so at around 4 o'clock, I said, "Where are you guys now?" Pembroke, which is about an hour and a half out from Ottawa. A few minutes later, I get a text back. "No, we're still in North Bay. We're shopping at the mall."
So casually driving down.
The
8 hour, 5 hour drive.
Exactly. Yeah. So, 4:30 comes along. She's like, "We've probably got another half hour." At 5, she texts me, "We're on our way." So I'm thinking, okay, that's about 8:30. They showed up at 10 to 9. God. My wife, in the meantime, has no clue. So she's getting ready for bed. She's halfway up the stairs.
Oh, gosh.
There's a knock on the door, and she turns around and goes, "Who could that be?" So her friend had texted me, "We're here," basically.
Yeah.
And I go to the door. I said, "I think it's for you." I open the door. Her friend jumps in. Surprise! And so anyway, my wife was shocked and obviously happy to.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So in the moment she was happy, but did you get crap about it afterwards?
No, I got crap this morning.
Oh, okay.
I didn't buy butter.
Oh.
I had to go to the store this morning.
That's a separate thing, though. That's
and buy
just
butter.
You failing as a husband.
Well, I didn't want to. I didn't want to tip. So I did get crap. I didn't want to tip off my wife because by cleaning the house or like.
But what does the butter have to do with it?
Well, we had no butter, and so we had to butter toast for breakfast this morning,
okay.
just in case. Anyway, I didn't want to clean the house or anything like that because then I'd tip off my wife. Why is this guy all of a sudden cleaning the house?
So do you like surprises?
Never.
Like, let's say your birthday's coming up and you're like, oh, no, like, don't do anything. But deep down inside, you're like, yeah, throw a rager.
Throw a rager, exactly. Exactly.
Invite everybody I know.
Everybody, yeah.
Like, cater in the house,
exactly.
and let's just have a good time.
Yeah. No, I'm not big on that either.
No.
Like, I don't know. Who knows? Like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm fine with it too. I'm not a guy that needs to have like.
My wife is not big on surprises at all.
Oh no.
No, she would rather if that kind of scenario presented itself, and I was to, she would rather know ahead of time so that she could actually be excited and look forward to something.
Right.
Whereas in my case, I like the surprises, and I will secretly kind of hope
you get the surprise.
that it's like,
you're gonna have a rager.
Well, no,
your wife is planning a rager
exactly.
for you.
But yeah, so something like that, right? So but it's funny how people are different because you may say it's like, oh no, don't do anything, but secretly you're being passive aggressive and you actually really want something.
Well, I'm gonna make a generalization statement here.
Yeah.
Like, I think most women will say, no, I don't want anything, but secretly deep down, they want something.
Yeah, that's possible. I don't know.
I think that's
in my scenario.
Most women,
my wife is definitely in the exception that would prove the rule.
Oh yeah,
if that's the case.
There's always the outliers, but I think for the most part, if a woman says she doesn't want something, she wants it, so you better go and do it.
I can't comment on that.
Whatever it might be,
it's dangerous territory.
Whether it's like putting a ring on it or like that present later on.
Oh no, there's no rush. I mean? There's no rush to get engaged. We're fine.
Well, yeah. What was the first one?
Yeah,
we're to hear that.
We're fine. We've been dating for 15 years.
Yeah, no rush. Yeah, no rush. That means there is a rush, and she's going to leave you.
Potentially.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. My wife, she was shocked. Her reaction was quite priceless. I think my daughter recorded some video on it.
Oh, that's cute.
And she kept saying, "Oh my God, I'm so shocked. Oh my God, I'm so shocked."
That'll be a fun night. Good for you guys.
But now they're going to spend the day together. They're going to go shopping.
Yeah, it's a whole weekend. Yeah, it's a memory now for sure.
And so not only will I have to comp the dinner tonight.
So is everybody coming back for kind of a get together afterwards, or it's like just go to the restaurant and kind of go your own way?
Go to the restaurant.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
So yeah,
did you buy a nice cake, or are you gonna wait till
I'm gonna do
Monday for
that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
her actual birthday. Her mom came down too from Sudbury.
That's good.
So she's staying till Wednesday. So we'll do a little. I'll go buy cake tomorrow, and we'll do a little.
So just a little side story, because we always tend to mention our friends in Lanark. But I was reading an article a couple days ago that some I don't know exactly. Actually, well, I can assume the age, but there was a person with their G2 license, which would probably
made it to Sudbury in 4 hours.
No, well, they could have, I guess. But with their G2 license, that was caught driving 101 kilometers over the speed limit.
Oh, in Lanark.
In Lanark. So with a G2, which is your kind of graduated license,
let's say he'll never get to G.
Level 2.
Yeah.
So your G1, you have to have a licensed driver in the car with you. G2, there's restrictions.
But you don't need a licensed driver.
But you don't need it. You can drive by yourself.
Yeah.
So they essentially in an 80-kilometer zone.
He's going 180.
Was caught driving 181 kilometers an hour.
Ouch.
In Lanark, no less. So making Lanark famous.
And
inappropriately.
And not only that, on the roads in Lanark, you would figure what would there be cops? The cops can't be all over Lanark like that.
Well, the cop took a nice picture of the vehicle pulled over, and it doesn't look like a very big road.
Yeah.
So
181.
clocked at 181.
He's in a little Honda Civic.
Essentially on a little side road.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they posted a picture of that, essentially, that the individual was charged with stunt driving, vehicle towed and impounded, and as much as maybe I've driven here and there in my past in quick ways, I can't say that I've ever gone to that limit.
Yeah.
I've always been safe. That doesn't sound quite safe to me, but
no. 181. I imagine what his insurance is going to be. Well, I remember as a kid, as a young man, shall we say, and we were just talking about this last weekend with my buddy. There's a little street where I grew up. It's called Diceman. It's fairly straight up to my street. And I had an old Mustang Cobra 5-liter, one of the 79 when they first came back. And we used to do this thing called the Diceman Speed Run. It was less than a quarter of a mile, of course. It was maybe 500 meters, the street,
just
whatever.
Kind of see how fast you can go
750 meters.
In that one little part.
Pretty stupid. Wow. I did that. And it's 40. I got up to almost 100.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Percentage-wise, you're pretty up there.
And you think about like, it's a residential.
It's a residential street. Yeah. So we'll quote.
I hope no cops are incriminating.
We'll state that listening. This is a long time ago when you.
It was over 40 years ago.
Yeah, young and inappropriate.
Young and dumb. Hopefully no cops are listening. I don't know, what is the statute of limitations on speeding?
I have no idea. So we wish this young driver well, and we hope that this is a lesson learned, and that everybody made it home safe. But 100 kilometers over. That's impressive and not impressive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's kind of both, but yeah.
So yeah, young age. We're talking about the 50s. We're talking about
18.
Probably so somewhere between. I would say probably somewhere between 16 and 20 would probably be the age. I would think. You can
I guess you can get your G2 after.
You can get your G2 probably quickly. So I'm probably thinking it's somebody fairly young that was.
Good luck trying to get insurance. After that one.
That's not great. Yeah.
No.
Anyway, so
interesting.
Yeah. So there's. I don't know. It's tough being young these days. I mean, the kids have been cooped up for 2 years, you know.
Oh, you think that's the reason why he was doing 181 and 80? Because
absolutely.
He's like, I gotta get out there and
just live life.
Exactly.
Live life. But it was interesting because I was reading another article about the housing prices and stuff like that, and I've thought about that for my own kids actually, and they were saying that I think the numbers were that it was very difficult for kids nowadays to get into the housing market because it's gone so high.
Oh yeah.
And back in I'd say probably, I think they were saying about 40 years ago, it would take about, let's say, a 17-year-old about 5 years to accumulate enough money to be able to put 20% down on a house.
Oh really? Eh? Huh.
And
that's interesting.
And currently, that same 17-year-old kid, it would take them 20 years.
Oh. Yeah.
To put 20% down on a house. Obviously, you don't always need 20% and so on and so forth. I think there's different rules and stuff, but
what's 20% of 800,000? That seems to be the average price.
Well, I think
of a house today.
That's the problem, right? So that's $160,000.
Yeah.
Like, try to put $160,000 aside, on a job working at McDonald's part-time or something like that to move out of mom and dad's house, right?
Forget about it. It's not happening. Well, not only that, back 40 years ago, the interest rates were what? Incredibly high. Well, you're paying like in the teens percentage-wise.
If you're looking at the crash in the 80s, yeah. I mean, but tons of people lost. Tons of people during that crash kind of lost their houses and stuff like that. I mean, if the interest rates today were to go up to 15 or 18%, like, just think about,
people
how that would affect people.
Well, yeah, people are complaining that they're going up beyond 3-4% right now.
Right.
And they're going to be raising a little bit higher.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it. Like, it's scary, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough. It's it'll be interesting to see how our kids kind of moving forward navigate their finances, because I guess, you know, when we were younger, you always kind of thrive to go, house ownership is that investment kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I remember I bought my first house. It was $160,000.
Okay.
That was 1998.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, our first house, I think, was 180-ish.
Yeah.
And that would have been in 2001.
Yeah. Back then, I think I was making about 35,000 a year. 35,000 a year, I think.
Probably similar range.
Yeah. And then my wife at the time, my starter wife. My starter wife was making about the same.
Hopefully your current to be celebrated wife this evening is not listening to this.
Nah, she doesn't listen. That's why I can. Which is another way I get in trouble with her.
So all that
fun
to
of me
say,
on the podcast.
Yeah, we've had your poor wife. I don't know how she puts up with
Well,
it.
I said we also make fun of JB's wife with her coupon shopping or whatever, like standing in line for hours.
Price matching.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, bless their hearts. We're lucky. We're lucky guys. We're lucky to have them. So
nice save.
Yeah, I know. So nowadays, like, you know, like you think about retirement, and there used to be like the 55 factor and stuff like that.
I'm 55 now and I haven't reached retirement.
Well, no. So like when do you think you would anticipate being able to retire and kind of,
never. I still got another kid to put through. So yeah, I got another kid to put through. My daughter's starting university in the fall. I got another kid to put through that. So that means, you know, more savings going forward.
So there's a guy in you know, we're talking about age and stuff like that. There's a guy who
I see what you're doing here. You've got a nice theme going on.
I like
today's podcast.
I like segues.
I know you're very organized guy.
I like segues. I try to make it sound like I'm just kind of flying off the cuff, but I do
planned out.
I do plan things. Yeah. I like planning.
I know from hockey when I was under your coaching.
You seem to accomplish more things.
Direction
plan. I think.
Under your coaching direction in hockey, I know you like to plan things.
I do like organizing things. Anyway,
very well organized.
We're segueing to.
I'm trying to derail the segue, and you're.
No, you're doing well. You're doing well.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We gotta keep it. We gotta keep it
moving.
Organized.
Keep it
but
moving.
We gotta keep it fresh. Right. So you gotta throw in. You were talking earlier about the value you bring. So you're bringing. I bring planning, and you're bringing off the cuff,
spontaneity and witty comments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Walter Orthman from Brazil, has recently turned 100 years old.
Wow! Congratulations.
And no kidding.
God,
I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know if I'd make it to that age. Anyway, we'll get into that after, I guess. But so, he's been working. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records now. He's been working for the same company for 84 years.
What?
He started working when he was 15 in I think 1938.
Are you saying he's still working?
He's still working. In Santa Catarina, Brazil. He started off as a shipping assistant for a textile company at 15 years old.
Is he CEO now?
He is still still working for the same. Well, they're saying he's regarded as an important leader who is known for his humanity, empathy, and charisma. But wow,
he never progressed past shipping.
I know.
Still at 100.
Yeah, exactly. But isn't that crazy?
That is
84 years for the same company.
Usually you would retire after 30.
He must
35.
He must obviously be enjoying what he's doing, right? And finding some happiness and some joy in that stuff. And I guess if you enjoy and you get fulfillment from what you do, then why not?
Yeah.
You know, you hear about so many people that retire and then just kind of I guess, get sick and or don't like find anything to keep them alive, kind of thing, and just.
The oldest person I ever interviewed had turned 103.
103.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So that makes the news, and that's why I was interviewing her. But 103 years old.
I would love to be around as long as humanly possible, as long as it would be nice to be able to age gracefully in some way, right? Like, I mean, it's...
Yeah, there was another lady I interviewed. She lived in Montreal. This is a few years ago now. She had turned 100 or was like turning 100 in like a couple days from when we were interviewing her.
Yeah.
And she retired at the age of 65. And the interesting thing was that she was looking forward to, she loved to read books and stuff like that, right? All through her life, she was saying, oh, I love reading, blah, 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 blah. I turn 65 and I lose my sight.
Wow.
Yeah. And so what she had planned in retirement, unfortunately, she could not do. And not only that, she lived 35 more. I don't know if she's still alive, but obviously, like, she was turning 100, so another 35 years, and she was not able to do the thing she loved the most, which was read. Now, I mean, one of the things that have come out since then were audiobooks, obviously, so she was happy to be listening to books being read to her, but...
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And so... So there's you've heard of Make-A-Wish.
Yes, of course.
Which I've been involved in, and I've done some charity stuff for that organization, which is absolutely fantastic, for Make-A-Wish of Eastern Ontario.
Yeah.
Which sort of grant wishes for kids with life-threatening medical conditions, essentially, which is amazing. I've been involved in a couple wishes. I got a
story about that too.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I got a story about that too.
Go for it.
Yeah, so we are shooting this series, and it's about families, and this one kid, he was 7 or 9 or something like that. 7, I think, at the time, and he got cancer, lymphoma. And it was during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic and stuff, and he went through all the treatments, but Make-A-Wish reached out to him. And of course, Make-A-Wish, they, I think a lot of the times it's a trip somewhere, right?
It could be
anything.
It could be anything. You could get your bedroom redone with computers. You could get it's anything.
Yeah, so because they couldn't do, I think they wanted to do a trip, but because they couldn't do a trip, they actually did. They had a garage out back that was sort of converted into a living space. Yeah. But Make-A-Wish came in and renovated the whole thing as his playroom.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. They furnished it. They bought him a bunch of toys. He loves Lego. He had, I think, Lego Star Wars, if I'm not mistaken.
That's awesome.
All over the place. He had a big screen TV, he had video games, and it was his own little, hideaway, getaway, whatever.
I think it was actually like Make-A-Wish, International Make-A-Wish Day this week.
Oh, was it?
Or something like that. It was really, really interesting. Yeah. But it's just so heartwarming to see that stuff. But interestingly enough, something else I was reading this week, you brought up a really interesting fact related to an article that I was reading. And it was...
is this a fact check?
No fact check. No fact check. Not yet, anyways.
All right.
But I was reading, kind of perusing
less work for me.
News articles, and this one had, the headline was, "Blind Senior Gets Wish to See Maple Leafs Play with the Help of Special Glasses." So it piqued my interest, so I decided to read about it, even though I'm not a big fan of the make-believes.
No, the make-believes.
But anyway, so this gentleman has lost at some point his eyesight, not fully, but just could not.
I'm gonna guess the name of the company before you
maybe
say it.
Okay.
Keep going with your story. Yeah, I'll guess the name.
So essentially, he's from Nova Scotia, 78 years old. He's a really, really big Toronto Maple Leaf fan. And there's this organization called, which I had never heard about before, but I think it's called We Are Young, and it's a charity from Nova Scotia that their aim is to build awareness and respect and sort of build kind of more interest and support for our seniors.
Yeah.
And we're getting up there in age.
Yeah,
so I think,
what are you trying to say? We're seniors?
Well, in the past, I've supported Make-A-Wish. Maybe now it's time to
support these guys.
Start
planning for your future.
Yeah, exactly.
For your
but
future.
anyway, I thought this was fantastic. So it's a charity that essentially goes and I don't know how the format works. I haven't looked into this at all. But essentially it's very similar to Make-A-Wish, where they essentially find seniors that I think are nominated for some reason and that have some kind of unfulfilled wish in their lives. And I went to the website and there's a whole bunch of pictures and stuff. And there's like this senior lady that's attached to someone else skydiving. So there's a whole bunch of different scenarios.
I wouldn't want to do that myself.
No, but I'm sure if you were to kind of go and look back at your bucket list and go, crap, it's I never got the opportunity to do X, Y, Z, right?
The star in a
whatever, yeah. But isn't it? Oh God. But isn't it? Certain things are not possible. DDT, yeah. But isn't that a neat charity? Anyway, so this guy can't see properly. Lost most of his eyesight. Hadn't been able to see some of his grandkids at all, who are now like 7 or 11 years old.
Right.
So this company that I don't know.
Is it called eSight?
It is called eSight. I had never heard about them before, but I guess they developed some technology for people that have low vision and are essentially legally blind.
Yeah, they're here in Ottawa.
Are they really?
Yes, they are.
In
Canada, actually.
What a fantastic thing.
Or they were. I don't know if they've moved.
What a fantastic product.
Yeah, I interviewed them. We did a story on them, and we
did you really?
Yep. And we profiled those glasses.
So this company eSight donated a pair of glasses to this gentleman as part of this charity for him to actually be able to go see the Leafs, which I really don't care about. I know about that. But having said that, he got to see his grandkids and stuff like that. Awesome. So that's isn't that nice fantastic?
Story. Yeah, for sure.
So for our good listeners out there, we
who are aging like us,
We Are Young is a charity in Nova Scotia, which I think, filling unfulfilled wishes. So I think that I just thought that was awesome.
I think mine would be actually to drive a Formula One car. You think that could be possible if I'm like 80?
Why not?
And what's the charity called again?
It's called We Are Young.
We Are Young. So I'm like 80. My bucket list was always to drive an F1 car.
Well, it depends. Would you be worthy? Would somebody nominate you and go, DDT has led a good, honorable life. He's been a great guy, and he just got, the short end of the stick and didn't get the opportunity to drive his F1.
Yeah, he could have always been an F1 driver.
Yeah, F1 driver, and today we're going to make his wish come through. Yeah. I don't know. Is that, do you think that's going to be?
I think so.
You think that's going to be the scenario?
I think so. I think it will be. My cousin drove, you're asking me what the time is. Yeah. It's 34 minutes.
34 minutes. Oh man, we're early. We're only halfway there.
Well, my brother's done walking his dog already.
No, keep walking. Yeah. Don't be lazy.
Yeah, come on. The dog.
Look at your dog. He's sad.
She deserves it.
She?
Yeah.
I didn't say he.
It.
Yeah. Just walk the dog. What kind of dog is it?
Its pronouns are it.
What kind of dog is it?
I don't know, actually.
That's not very nice.
Yeah.
That's not very nice.
It's a nice dog, though. So my cousin, I was saying that my cousin used to drive Formula Ford and Formula Atlantic against Gilles Villeneuve back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Back in, and his brother, Jacques.
He was the name back then, and Jacques.
Jacques is also Gilles' brother, but also Gilles' kid's name.
Yeah, so
Jacques
his son, Gilles' son, Jacques, was racing as well.
Yeah, he was a world champion in 1 year. I forget what year it was now. But it's going back a while.
Very well for himself.
He did, yeah. But yeah, so my cousin drove Formula Ford and Formula Atlantic against Gilles Villeneuve. In fact, he ended up, there's a magazine that came out back in the day. It was a racing mag here in Canada. Who will be Canada's next F1 driver? Was Gilles Villeneuve. A couple other guys. My cousin.
Yeah.
A couple other guys.
Interesting.
And only Gilles obviously made it to that level.
Wow.
Yeah. So I used to go to a lot of races, and I saw a lot of Gilles Villeneuve race back in the day.
So you'd want to essentially drive F1 just for fun on a course, or just throw you in the middle of a race.
They could put me on a straight line too, and I just floor it.
Well, they would have to, probably.
Yeah, I just floor it.
Get somebody else in the car with you to hold the steering wheel straight, probably. I don't know. I don't know what mine would be if there was a scenario like that. It would probably revolve around traveling to some place I didn't get the opportunity to go, or something like that.
Well, you know what? I think it. How about if I drove the F1 car
in Monaco?
In Monaco or Le Mans.
Le Mans, very nice.
Hey, they have that big straight where I could open her up.
Yeah. So a trip and the opportunity to drive the car.
Exact.
I think that's awesome. I think, let's talk in another 20, 30 years, and we'll see if we can make that happen for you.
Hopefully that organization will still be around.
Exactly. I don't know. Maybe we'll be running it by then.
Yeah,
exactly. We have to get nominated in our own organization.
We run it, but everything just goes to us.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's not nice.
No.
So do you have a pick? I mean, we talked about Lanark. I thought you mentioned that you had a.
Well, we could segue Lanark from the age thing actually into our Lanark.
Well, because it does involve age as well.
It does involve age, and like we talked last week, we talked about Guy Lafleur passing away, and way too young in my opinion, and you know, we've lost some comedians this year, and some entertainers. Taylor Hawkins, lost Meatloaf, and it's just been been an interesting year, and I don't know if that's because I haven't put my finger on if that's just because it's just a matter of coincidence, or if the fact that we're just getting older, that as you kind of get older, you see more and more kind of your heroes and people that you kind of looked up to.
That's very true.
Fall off.
That's very true.
Anyway, so Lanark pick of the week to not go down a depressing road.
It's too sentimental.
Exactly. Start crying and have the man hug each other out of the situation. Raiders of the Lost Ark, man.
Oh,
one of my
1981.
It is 1981. Very
Raiders
good. Very good.
Ark.
Harrison Ford.
That might be too sophisticated for a Lanark pick, though.
No,
just like when Harry Met Sally won last week.
No. This is brainless entertainment until you start analyzing it.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. Nothing. The young man that was speeding 100 kilometers over the speed limit.
He was trying to get to the convenience store to rent
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
They had the last copy.
There was a last copy. They had like 10 copies on the shelf.
The
There's
last
one
copy
left.
of the VHS.
He called and they said, "Can you hold it for me?" And they said no.
Yeah.
So he's like, I gotta make it.
Jump in my Civic.
I gotta make it on time. It didn't look like a souped up Civic either.
No,
so
it didn't. It looked like a normal.
I don't know what's going on. So Raiders of the Lost Ark, man, one of my favorite movies from the 80s. Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, who is now...
How old is that guy now?
79 years old.
Wow.
And he recently, as you know, reprised his role as Han Solo in the kind of new trilogy for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Was killed off in there.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was killed.
I didn't watch
by. Oh, sorry. Did I just spoiler alert?
No, I'm not going to.
Spoiler alert.
No, well, for those listeners that haven't seen that
yet. That haven't seen that, but yeah, he was killed actually by his son. And then
Luke?
No,
who's his son?
His son was Kylo Ren. It's a new series, so essentially there's a new arc. Luke was Darth Vader's son.
Right.
So
and who was Darth Vader?
Darth Vader was
Anakin
Skywalker, correct. Yeah. Who ended up in the first arc sort of ended up being the good guy in the end, and as Luke kind of celebrates this thing, his dad kind of appears as I'll call it a hologram or an apparition of some kind, right? So the same arc kind of happens here where Han Solo gets killed by his son Kylo Ren, and then at the end of the series, somewhat, Han Solo kind of reappears to kind of bring his son on the right path, or whatever the case may be. Anyway, I probably got it wrong, and I'm gonna upset some Star Wars fanatics out there. I'm a Star Wars lover, but I'm not a Star Wars fanatic, so I might have got that wrong. Anyway, so Harrison Ford is 79, and for our Lanark listeners, Raiders of the Lost Ark was the first Indiana Jones. There have been 3 other iterations, which I think is Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Last Crusade, which is the 3rd one. Then there was and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which is the 4th one. What the heck is
fact check
is the second
one?
now
fact check.
We gotta do a fact check as we're talking here.
Fact check. Fact check.
But having said that, they're coming out with
a new one,
5th movie.
Yeah, and he's starring
5th Indiana Jones, and he will be starring in the movie.
Is he like going to be in a wheelchair?
I don't know. He's
going through caves and stuff.
I don't know that he's
maybe a motorized wheelchair.
I don't know that he's going to be quite as nimble as he used to be. Let's just say, with the whip and the gun and stuff like that. Yeah, and I don't think he'll be running away from giant boulders this time.
Yeah.
But it was
or
interesting.
The Nazis.
Because in the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade,
what time was that fact check, by the way?
I don't know.
41 minutes.
Yeah, 41. Yeah. You got to edit that. The Temple of Doom is the second one.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
So we're actually throwing 5 picks at Lanark right now. To while this young man is at home being reprimanded by his parents.
Exactly.
He now has 5 movies to watch,
but
while he can't drive for a while.
It to the convenience store.
No, but maybe I don't know if they're on Netflix actually.
Yeah.
I'd have to. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I think they are on Netflix.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just seeing that now.
All right.
So yeah,
on the Netflix.
So Lanark pick is Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981, with Mr. Harrison Ford, one of my favorite actors, who is still around, and I hope will be continuing to make movies as long as he can.
Just like Clint Eastwood.
He's such a great actor, absolutely.
Clint Eastwood, who is got to be in his 90s.
Should I do another fact check?
Yeah, fact check. Fact check.
Fact check. Fact check.
Let's go find out how old Mr. Clint Eastwood is.
Yeah,
I would think, yeah. And his son is actually acting as well right now.
Yeah, and I was watching, actually.
He's 91, man.
91.
Yeah.
Wow. I was watching a great movie with him in it, The Outlaw Josie Wales.
Yeah.
What a great film.
What would be your favorite Clint Eastwood film?
Oh, I don't know. I've seen a lot of them.
Were you a fan of the spaghetti western?
Yeah, he was good. Obviously, Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
That's mine. Top.
That's
Clint Eastwood
soundtrack
movie,
and everything. Yeah.
Top western movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
But the Dirty Harry movies were also.
They were entertaining.
Yeah, they were very good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, with his 44.
Yeah.
Magnum.
The good old days of B level movies. Yeah.
But he was good. But The Outlaw Josie Wales was a great film. I was watching that. Very entertaining.
I don't know that I've seen that one.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, you got to watch it.
Okay.
It's great. But yeah, as an actor, Gran Torino, when that came out, he was quite old Gran Torino as well.
That's actually not that long ago.
No, but that was a good film as well.
Gran Torino was 2008.
Oh, so wow.
So he would have been
14 years ago.
Probably in his 80s still at that point, which is
that was good. That was a good movie.
Which is kind of crazy, yeah.
But yeah, he's up there now for sure. But he's still directing and starring in movies and stuff.
Yeah,
even at his age.
We're we're actually pretty good with trivia, eh?
Yeah.
We come up with a lot of things that we, remember, and we talk to each other, and we kind of remember pieces of things and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you feel the segue coming on?
Okay. we are now segueing.
We should actually get a sound for that. Segue coming up. Warning. Segue coming up.
Segue.
So, Matea Roach, do you know who that is?
No clue.
Have you heard that?
No.
So she's a young lady. I think she's 25.
Okay.
From, I believe, Hamilton.
And
she is currently on
Hamhole.
Jeopardy.
Oh, right. Yes, I now know who you're talking about.
And she, I believe, as of yesterday...
She is from Hamhole.
...has now equaled the record for...
How come it's always the Canadians that do well on that show?
Top wins. Is it, though?
Wasn't the last guy, the other guy, Canadian, too?
I don't think so.
Oh, no? I thought he was. Maybe not.
But anyway, man, it's awesome. So now she's tied for the 6th longest streak in show history with 19 wins.
Wow.
I would probably lose at the first question because I would forget to pose it as a question.
Well, you know what?
What is Jeopardy kind of thing, right? So what's the show?
I would be in the negative money and I would have to pay them.
So she's 23 years old, man. Wow. And she's up to $460,000 US.
Jesus.
Isn't that awesome?
I'm jealous.
Well, don't be jealous. You have to work hard. She's obviously a very, very smart young lady. So we wish her well.
Yeah, I'm jealous that I'm not that smart.
Well, yeah. No, you're definitely not.
No.
And I'm not either.
No.
But it's
we should have her on the show.
It's fun.
Should we get her on the podcast?
We could try.
Things we should do but won't.
Maybe we should. But we probably won't.
No.
But that's amazing. So wishing her lots of luck.
She's too popular for us.
So do you think there's part of that that's luck, or do you think that part of that is
I don't know. I watched a documentary the other day it was actually on the Netflix.
Okay.
But
is this a pick?
It's not a pick,
All
but
right.
it's kind of like you made
just a
segue.
bonus pick.
It's a bonus segue from what you were talking about, Jeopardy. It was interesting. So it was about a huge fan of The Price is Right from back in the day.
Yeah.
I think that show is still airing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. With Drew Carey as the host?
No, yes, you're right. Yeah.
So anyway, Bob Barker back in the day, this guy.
Talking about people that have jobs for a long time.
Yeah, but he's been retired now. He's still alive, but yeah. Anyway, this guy was a Jeopardy. It was a Price is Right fan, huge fan of the show since the early 70s. That show started in 1972, I think it was.
Okay.
So he was a huge fan of the show. And what he used to do was that originally it was all on spreadsheets. He would go and he would write down all the prizes that were given out on the show, and he would write what it was, and how much the retail price of. Like I'm talking about, in those little games like Rice-A-Roni.
Yeah.
No, they had if you had to get to the bigger showcase round, you had to pick out this is from Rice-A-Roni,
Okay. Yeah.
And so even down to that little minute thing was $10. So he'd write everything down. And then he ended up he was from Chicago, I think, and he went to Los Angeles. He would take his vacations in Los Angeles and go to the shows. But he was a very plain sort of guy. But, so they wouldn't pick him to be on the show, but he'd be in the audience.
Yeah.
And you know how they used to shout out prices, right?
Yeah.
So he would be shouting out the prices. Because whenever something came up, he knew, there was variations a little bit in them, but the price he basically knew. And he had written some of the variations down and stuff. So he'd be shouting out, somebody would bid $750 and he'd be shouting out $997. And so then one person would be looking at him, he's like, $997. And the guy would be like, $997. And then, you remember, ding, 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 if you were bang on.
Yeah.
And you get an extra $100, whatever. And so then the guy would bid $9.97 and it would be ding, 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 ding. One of their contestants was bang on. So he kept doing that. Every time he would go to the show, people that got up there that they'd have to wait in line 3 hours. So they would be talking to people and become friends. And then they would find out that, he knew the prices. And so he, so they would, if they got up on the thing and they would look at him and he would tell them the price and they would get up on stage. So what happened was they culminated, there's this big climax.
This is a Duff story, man.
It is turning into a Duff story. I apologize. I apologize for that. But the climax was this one guy that he had talked to in the studio audience and had gotten him up on stage. And this guy ended up in the final showcase showdown. Okay. And so another lady also got to the showcase showdown that he was telling the prices to as well. So anyway, they came up. The lady was supposed to bid on this first thing, and it was like all these great prizes. But she passed on it for the next thing. And so the guy, was looking to the audience and listening to this guy's telling him what to do. Blah, 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 blah. So he bids like 23,000, like something, 23,508.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, or 584. Like it was very specific, very specific. Then the next showcase comes up and it's all trips. Now it's hard to price trips, right?
Yeah.
Because
there's so many variables.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, you know what? I didn't know because it was all trips.
Yeah.
So he said, he was shouting out like 30,000. Anyway, the lady bids 30,000. Okay, so she goes up first. Bob reads it out. It's 30,483 for all the trips. So she's within 1,000.
Yeah,
it was a great bid, right? But really no clue. Anyway, he gets to the next guy. Bob pulls it out and he pauses. The actual retail price is the exact amount. 23,000, like 583 or whatever he bid.
Wow.
And he's like, you win. Not only that, you win both. The lady would have won both because she was within 1,000 and she was close.
Oh, no.
But he was bang on and they could not believe it. They had to take a break in the filming and all this sort of stuff.
So they did a documentary?
Yeah, they talked to this guy that knew all the prices, and that's
interesting. What's it called?
Oh, I forget. It's on the Netflix anyway.
I'll have to do a fact check.
Fact check?
Maybe.
Fact check that.
Fact check. Fact check.
Yeah, but anyway, it was quite interesting because he was like, he yelled out the exact price and the guy now there's a dispute. The guy says he came up with that price himself. The guy that won the showcase.
Okay.
But you can clearly hear
somebody saying out loud.
Yeah.
So it's called the perfect bid.
The perfect bid. That's
the contestant who knew too much.
Yeah.
2017 documentary on Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had another pick, but let's skip it, man. That's a really good one. So essentially, a guy from math genius from Texas named Ted Slauson, and essentially memorizing and documenting the prize amounts on The Price is Right. That's
but he's not the guy that won the big showcase.
No. He was just in
the audience.
In the audience.
Yeah.
So he never got to go on
the
show?
He did end up on the show at one point.
He did eventually?
Yeah, okay. but when he spun the big wheel, he only got like 40 cents, so he didn't make the final cut.
That's too bad.
Yeah. Like that you can't fix, right? So,
no.
Yeah. But I mean, he got bang on, like getting up to the wheel spinning.
It would be interesting if to kind of do a full circle here, if his life wish to be on Price is Right had not been, granted. If in his old age somebody would have said, reach out to the We Are Young charity organization to say, can we fulfill
this guy's dream?
What's his name? Can we fulfill Ted's wish from Texas?
Called him, yeah. I thought he was from Chicago originally.
Right.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's possible.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't write the fact check down, but we're at 50 minutes.
Yeah, or I don't know. We
should probably
fact check the
fact check.
So I think our I don't know. What's the theme for today?
Theme for today is age.
Boredom?
Boredom. Age, boredom. Yeah.
Growing old gracefully, man.
Growing
Walk
old
your dog
gracefully,
as long as humanly possible. Stay in shape. Eat well. And
make a wish.
And make a wish and stay young and have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. That was a good one.
I think we should wrap.
Cop.
Let's pass my brother's
Car.
coffee. Wow.
I don't know, man. What do you think?
That was good. That's good. Actually,
we did all right.
I think we do better than,
I think so. I don't know. We just kind of, who knows?
My thoughts.
He just gets bored. He kind of starts looking at his phone.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Just checking the stock.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
just kind of loses interest in what we're doing.
Yeah, true.
That's all right though.
It's okay.
He's a good guy. We miss him.